Manners respect people. We here again from more education people. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the subscribes. I see my subscriptions going up, people. Thank you, thank you. I don't know what's the the analytics say I have a certain amount of time to get a certain amount of subscribers or something like that. But I guess I'm doing pretty good because uh, my subscription is going up, people. My watch time is going up, people. So thank you very much. All the supporters, them who are support and encourage me. Thank you very much. So all of these amazing people that have been highlighting all month and the greatness that they have accomplished. The journey is just wow, 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 wow. You just can't say wow. Just because the work that's accomplished by these people in situation where they're not supposed to be successful. They're not supposed to reach the pinnacle. But me tell you, say the people them pass all expectation, the people them set goals, pass goals. People them is just left, right, center. The people them is just heroes. Heroes and sheroes. Now the amazing thing about it is, it doesn't stop. The greatness doesn't stop. Me find so much more information. It's like me have to say, hold on, slow down, slow down, slow down. Because me excited for find these people. I am so excited to highlight these people, right? We give them flowers and see how the world gravitate to greatness. But understanding them people get a lot of fight, These people courageous, integrity, strength, fearless, honest, hardworking, loving, caring, superb, supernatural, superhuman. Man, then it like the description of these people it's never ending. It's never ending. It's grace of greatness. And I have so much more to highlight. But I tell you, say it's not just about people, it's all about their invention, their like other than just say these people are great, their accomplishment outside being a great human being. We're gonna touch upon some of them things there, some of them topic there. Because me tell you, say now all of them people I start subscribe to them channel and the algorithm just bring all of these great people forward. And me tell you, say it's not even the tip of the iceberg. This is just like a few days of understanding or great. And I keep on saying that word great, 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 great exists within us. Right? It just show how greatness just exhume from the people them where reach out and claim greatness above all obstacles, right? So Yesterday was pretty much a all day of male. So today I want to do a all day of female. But I tell you, say, because of this the spider web of us interacting together, people is gonna come across you. This person introduce this person to that person, and then it's a collective of how it's done. So this again is the Montgomery bus boycott, right? This is how them implement it. This one I say, oh the our situation. It's just how them solve problems. Every aspect of where them how them live was solutions. All the inventions them that was invented, it was solutions to problems that they were having. That's why I say we were always solution driven first, and then we all become a problem. Ah. So I could proceed, people, because I'm tell you say, when I'm here, more enjoy, more conversate, more and do all of the things them, not just you know a one-way street. But until then, I am enjoying myself. I hope the people them more listen and enjoy themselves with being educated with past, present, and future, right? That me should create a channel, past, present, and future. And but this channel is fine. We can put everything here, because I don't like some the things that I put up here. It's restricted, or you know, it's positivity in all aspect of the sense, and you have to have sense to be positive. Righteous as we proceed, people.
Montgomery, Alabama, the birthplace of the civil rights movement, where a community of leaders and everyday citizens joined together to end segregation. Some chose to work in the spotlight, while others worked in the shadows. Their acts of courage and defiance started a movement that spread across the nation.
Sitting for Justice, the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Sponsored by Alabama State University and SPLC's Civil Rights Memorial.
I attended Alabama State. It was at that time Alabama State College for Negroes. Now it's Alabama State University. I enrolled there in December 1947 and graduated in May of 1951. While I was there, I came for the purpose of learning how to become a teacher.
Bienvenue à la vidéo.
Yes, people, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't understand. Once it's already watching commercial already, and now it's my turn. I'm still a get commercial.
Came for the purpose of learning how to become a teacher. As I grew up in Montgomery in the 30s and 40s, there were basically two professions that African American boys could think about, and they would be preaching or teaching. Either one you did it on a segregated basis because everything was segregated. They thought I could develop into a pretty good preacher, so they sent me to high school up in Nashville, National Christian Institute, to learn how to preach. When I finished and came back, I lived on the west side of town, 705 West Shelf Davis. Was going to Alabama State on the east side, and had to use the transportation system. And I recognized that our problem, our African Americans in Montgomery at that time, were having problems on how they were treated on the buses.
Black people riding the buses would pay their fares at the front. You know, you put your money in you pay your fare at the front. Then you had to get off the bus, go all the way to the back to get a seat that was reserved for Black people. Okay. Some bus drivers would just drive off before they could get on the bus.
So after you go, listen, you go on the front of the bus, you pay your fare, then you have to get off, go to the back of the bus. So after you pay your money, if you go up on the bus driver then drive off anyways. Straight up robbery, you know?
So I made a personal, private commitment that I would go ahead, finish law school, or finish Alabama State, go to somebody's law school. I didn't know any lawyers, but they told me that lawyers help people to solve problems, and I thought we had problems at Montgomery. But my whole idea and my secret desire was to go attend law school, finish law school, come back to Alabama, pass the bar exam, become a lawyer, and destroy everything segregated I could find. And on September the 7th, I was licensed to practice law in the state of Alabama and have been practicing ever since September 7th, 1954. There were two worlds. There was a black world and a white world. White people were all of the elected officials at that time, but everything was completely segregated. And you knew it, and there were people who were trying to solve some problems, but we had problems with racism and problems with inequality, and those problems had existed in Alabama and throughout the country ever since slavery time, when we were first brought here in 1607 or 1608.
I can't think of any aspect of life in Montgomery and in the South for that matter that was not governed by segregation.
The bus boycott lasted for 382 days. So that's a long period of time. There were a lot of things that took place. There was a lot of persons involved, but there were very few people who were involved in it initially. And I'm probably the only living person of those who were originally involved in the planning of the Montgomery bus boycott from December 1st to December 5th. Black people boycotted the streetcars in Montgomery, I'm told, about 1900. And for a while they were successful, but then they went back to the same things, and we had those same problems over until Mrs. Sparks did what she did. Because as you know, there were other people who had problems on the buses, and Joanne Robinson had problems. She wasn't arrested, but she had problems on the bus in 1948. And there had been that type situation all the way through.
All y'all really from Alabama. The straitjackets of race prejudice and discrimination do not wear only Southern labels. The subtle psychological technique of the North has approached in its ugliness and victimization of the Negro the outright terror and the open brutality of the South. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Why We Can't Wait. This here, the cradle of this here nation. Everywhere you look, roots run right back south. Every vein filled with red dirt, blood, cotton. We the dirty words you spit out your mouth. Mason-Dixon is an imagined line. You can theorize it or wish it real, but it's the same old ghost. See-through, benign. All y'all from Alabama. We the wheel turning cotton to make the nation move. We the scapegoat in a land built from death. No longitude or latitude disproves the truth of Founding Fathers' sacred oath. We hold these truths like dark snuff in our jaw. Black oppression's not happenstance, it's law.
At the age of 15, Claudette
Claudette was 15 years old. She lived in a community.
okay, Claudette Calvin was arrested.
Known as King Hill, northeastern part of the city. And she had been to school that day, and the kids, the black kids, and it's a small black community surrounded by whites. And they would use the public transportation to go from there downtown, transfer, get another bus, go out to Booker Washington School, where they went to school. And on this particular day, they were let out of school early. I think the teachers were having a meeting or something. And those kids, instead of getting the bus from Union Street, where Booker Washington was, and walk to and get Oak Park bus and go downtown, they just walked downtown to get the bus to go home.
The bus was at full capacity, and the bus driver asked for he asked for the four seats. I don't know if four of the students got up. Oh, three of the students got up, and I remained seated. They reluctantly got up because they got up and stood up. It was only the other white people didn't want to sit there because those it's ridiculous. For those, I wasn't sitting in the white section. I was sitting in the color section. But white people would want to sit in the color section, and the colored people wasn't allowed to sit in the white section if there was empty seats. So this white lady had the whole seat opposite me, but she wasn't going to sit in that seat because I was sitting across from her.
The driver asked her to get up again. He said, "Well, we've been studying about Black History Month, and they had in February, and that she uh, was not sitting in those first 10 seats reserved for whites. She paid her fare, and she wasn't going to move."
I didn't get up. I told the people I didn't get up because history had me glued to the seat. I mean, they said, "Why is how is that?" I said, "I felt as though John the True hands were pushing me down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman hands were pushing me down on another." My mind was on all I
This lady's sweet. Speak, lady.
was.
Oh yeah. I'm telling the people, the strength that these people had to go through what they had to go through, it's amazing. The lady said she stuck to the seat. Harriet Tubman is sitting on my shoulder. All in the face of danger. And I'm telling you about them people. When I listen to them story, I am amazed. Oh, nowadays we don't have no discipline and how disciplined these people had to be in certain situations to keep them alive. As we proceed,
Hands were pushing me down on another. My mind was on all our heroes. I wasn't gonna be made a spectacle for them that day. I was just going to do something that was really going to shake them up. I was going to rebel against them because I knew they was doing wrong. That was unfair, and I wasn't breaking the law. Patrolman came to the back door, and he asked me why was I sitting there, and I told him I paid my fare and it's my constitutional rights. And he yelled back to the driver that he had no jurisdiction here. So they must have discussed that he could make no arrest, right? The traffic patrolman. And that was a petition at the court square where there was colored people there waiting for their bus and white too. So I guess he said to keep from having a riot or something. He was
So that's like a place where the bus terminal pretty much where them pick up the people them and drop them off. So the policeman and the bus driver people may tell us them things that still are go. Actually, I know them things that still are going, you know. As we proceed, people come tell us that the very fact that no people said that's in the past and now understand say we haven't changed nothing. So all things are gonna change. As we proceed, people.
he was told him to drive down one block. After we got to Bibb and Commerce Street, two squad car policemen came and they come to the back door and they asked me the same question and they was even more rude. And the guy one grabbed me by the arm because I refused. I told you I was glued to the seat. And so they had to unglue me from the seat. So by ungluing me from the seat, they had to manhandle me and drag me off the bus because I refused to walk. They took me and booked me. And then after they took me and booked me, they didn't take me to a juvenile facility. They took me to an adult jail, to the city jail. And that's where my pastor and my mother came and got me out. And I think that now I'm thinking I'm glad that I'm getting some recognition now from what I did, and that now my grandchildren and that my son, my surviving son, can see that their mother, my son can see that his mother, my grandchildren can see that their grandmother stood up for something right.
Oh man. And at that may I say back then people used to stand up for something right. Now them people I never know them must stand up for real. And people they don't really have a cause. I don't really think so them modern people have a cause, you know. Because everything's set away, so they don't have to worry about nothing. And slowly and surely it's just gonna be like it was before. But me tell you, them people are too busy, right? A waste time on things that's not important. But I'm tell you, say dread, you know, it really, really dread for real. As we proceed.
Mother stood up for something right.
Claudette, we love you. Claudette, we love you. Come on now. Claudette.
But once she was arrested, the community became involved. The Women's Political Council, which Joanne Robinson was one of the leaders, immediately came to her rescue, and she had had a problem on the buses before, and arranged a meeting with the city officials and the bus company officials on Claudette Collins' case. And black leaders, including me, was invited to that meeting. They listened and said they were sorry about what happened to Claudette and that it wouldn't happen again. Of course, we know it did happen again. We later found out that Mary Louise Smith was
I'm telling you, look, I say if there's never any paperwork, even when paperwork involves sometimes I tell you say There's never honesty involved. That's the thing, you know. There's never any honesty involved when you deal with them people here. Cause them broke them road, them go back, them do the same thing over and over. Cause pure trouble when people just want to live them life. As we proceed.
We later found out that Mary Louise Smith was arrested in October of 55. And of course, after that, Mrs. Parks was arrested in December of 55.
On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus. 4 days later, on December 5th, African Americans boycotted the buses in Montgomery, Alabama, in protest of how they were treated on buses.
I had known Miss Parks since the time I was in college. And she lived 2 or 3 blocks and
okay, I don't know all them civil rights people are so beautiful, you know, but I tell you, so them people are beautiful, you know. Like, I don't understand, like, all of the people them who go through the struggles and educated, beautiful people, well spoken, look, I tell you, said times it was smart people was really cool because all our glasses were sheen out right now.
court from where I went to church. She was working at the Montgomery Fair, a department store, and a few blocks, a block and a half from where my office was. So she would come from her office, from her shop, Montgomery Fair, to my office for lunch every day. We'd sit down and we'd talk. We'd talk about her work with the youth. We'd talk about segregation generally. We'd talk about desegregating the schools. Brown versus the Board of Education had been decided. And we talked about if a person decided that they were asked to get up and give their seat on a bus to do so, how should they react? And we had done that. And we had done it from the time I opened my practice, which would have been probably in October of 55, until she was arrested. We had our same type conference on December 1st. She knew it, as I told her during the course of our conference, that I had a conference out of town that afternoon. She went on back to work. And of course, I ended up going on my appointment. And when I got back, I had a lot of calls from a lot of people, including Ms. Robinson and including Ms. Parks. And when I returned her call, she invited me to come over to her house. She related to me what had taken place of her case. I was not surprised that if the opportunity presented itself, that she probably would not give up her seat. I don't think she was interested in getting arrested. I think she was interested in maintaining where she was, and she did. Her case was set for Monday morning at 8:30, and the Recorder's Court of the City of Montgomery wanted me to represent her. And when we talked, I told her, I said, well, Ms. Parks, this is Thursday. I'll get your case ready for Monday. Don't worry about it. I'll be back in touch with you between now and then. But I also told her, so as you know, Ms. Robinson has been talking about getting the community involved in this whole problem of solving problems for a long time. So while I think you have done everything you need to do, I'm going to talk to Mr. Nixon. Of course, he had gotten her out, so he was familiar with it. And he knew that I was going to talk with him, see what he thought about getting the community involved. Then, if he thought well of it, I was going to go and talk to Joanne Robinson and see what she thought and see what they could be doing about getting the community involvement so that there would be some sort of protest when she was arrested.
The Women's Political Council. Mary Fairburst was the first president. Joanne Robinson followed her as president a few years later. So these were activist women. And these women are the ones that started the bus boycott.
I went, talked to Mr. Nixon. He thought it was a good idea, but he also said, Fred, I'm a poor man carporter, and I'm going to have to leave town and go. But I will work with you. You talk to Joanne Robinson, get back in touch with me. Let me know what you all decide. We'll see what we can do. I left his place, went to Joanne Robinson's house, talked to her. We concluded 2 or 3 things in our conversation. One, if we were going to have a protest and get the community involved, now is the time to do it. Secondly, if we're involved, it's going to take the 2 black leaders in Montgomery to be supporting it, E.D. Nixon and Rufus Lewis. Well, I knew about E.D. Nixon. I knew all Rufus Lewis. I didn't know him like I did her, but he owned a nightclub. But he was interested in getting people registered to vote and interested in getting persons held accountable once they were elected. So we needed both of them. And what she says, if we're going to get a spokesman, and if it's going to go beyond a day, we're going to need a spokesman. And we're going to need both of these men to support us. So she said, Fred, I tell you, who we need as our spokesman is my pastor, Martin Luther King. Haven't been here.
You see? This is I say the connections of how people we used to connect back then, you know. See? Back then it's like the people were activists, them have a cause, and everybody used to come together, put them differences aside. I'm telling you, this is so beautiful, people. See it? Chaman, go on. I mean, as we proceed, people, we used to have like unity, real unity, you know.
Long, but he can move people with words. I said, well, that's what we need.
Alabama has given only begrudging obedience to the federal law and the spirit of the Constitution of the United States. The Negro, for the most part, has been rendered politically important through the poll tax, literacy tests, and the naked physical intimidation. The right to vote, in fact, does not exist for the black man in Alabama.
Okay, and you just listen to the way the man just farm him word them and him just flow, and it's coming like so the man the man a rap. The man literally when them attack it. Am I the perfect person for in that position? Yes. Because he's calm, he's articulate, he knows what he's talking about, right? And he's representing the people he's talking for. So all of them things that in combination, yes, they make a right decision. That's why I say you put people in a position that they don't fit in, it's not gonna work. You put people in a position that is gonna help. So even like when they put Rosa Parks in that position, the lady before she was pregnant, right? So she couldn't be in the struggles like that. As we proceed, people.
Intimidation. The right to vote, in fact, does not exist for the black man in Alabama.
I said, well, if we see if we can get him to do that. And then I have 2 suggestions for these 2 leaders. E.D. Nixon knows A. Philip Randolph, who's president of his Pullman Car Porters Union in New York. Get him to be the treasurer, and his president will help him raise some money to finance what we're going to be doing. What you're going to do with Rufus Lewis? Well, I said, Rufus Lewis' wife, Jewel, is co-owner of the largest funeral home in town, Ross Clayton Funeral Home.
The largest funeral home in town. People. It's just funny how we used to own. We used to, everything used to be own. We used to own. That are the greatest thing. This is what I love about it, you know. We used to be independent. We used to have our own business. So we're business minded. We have the ability to run our own business, manage our own business. Sure, people, as we proceed, people, because I tell you, say them history is like them. May have so much more content. People more when I say when I find for sure we say all of the TikTok things and all of them things that it's not helping us. This man, look how old this man is, and this man I recall everything and remember everything how history is. Cause you see, once you live it, you're supposed to remember it. It's supposed to be part of your skin, part of your I don't know. This is why I say blue year. It's so important for we reflect on our past and see these people and see ourselves in our present. No, we can't run from ourselves, you know. So as we proceed, people.
Owner of the largest funeral home in town, Ross Clayton Funeral Home. They have cars, and they have drivers of those cars, and they only use them when they have funerals. Let's make him chairman of the transportation committee, and his wife will get that funeral director and all the others in town. And there's one other thing you're going to need. You're going to need to get the preachers involved in this too, because you're going to have to get the announcement. And at that time, you probably had more people in church, blacks, on Sunday morning than any other time.
That was then. Nobody now got church no more. People. That was then. Me tell you, so we used to be united in everything we do. And it's look how the man how they organize everything. Them get the people them right from the right position to come together. And the thing about it is they all come together, put ego and differences. Well, them never have no differences back then, you know. They me no hear this person say I'm a JLP or I'm a PMP or I'm a when they call it Democratic or Republic or whatever it is. They just had one goal, one cause, one destiny. Equal rights and justice for all, equal opportunity. Ah, it nice, people. Like up the life, people.
And somewhere along the line, I say, you just might need a lawyer. And here am I, said me. Those were the plans that we made. The interesting thing about the two of us who were making these plans is we could not, neither one of us, it couldn't come out that we were making the plans. Because if so, Mrs. Robinson would have been fired from her job at Alabama State, and I would have been disbarred for stirring up litigation.
Joe Ann Gibson Robson is that lady, fearless, and how she could know that she needed to stay in the background because you had a governor, and Alabama State being a state-supported institution. And if the governor were to find out, were to discover someone at Alabama State, this state-supported institution, was behind starting all of this ruckus, that person would have been fired.
We assigned to each other various responsibilities. One of the things Joanne said she was going to do, she was going to go and get a leaflet ready so they could get out.
Joanne Robinson and the Women's Political Council met that same night and that next day and drafted a letter for a boycott of the buses.
Don't ride the bus to work, to town, to school, or any place. Monday, December 5th, another Negro woman has been arrested and put in jail because she refused to give up her bus seat. Don't ride the buses to work, to town, to school, or anywhere on Monday. If you work, take a cab or share a ride or walk. Come to
You see? Even share ride where them a do now. People, I shouldn't know, you know. Them have the share ride program, so if you want a cheaper ride, you can get a ride with somebody when you do Uber or Lyft or them things there, right? So even back in the days, we do them things there, and we just go away from the things that work for us. Now a person don't want to share a ride, and one person want show us to them can ride in a taxi by themselves or whatever it is. But just I say, oh, we come so far, so separated from ourselves. As we proceed, people, because this is our history, our story, this is our present and future. It's so important for we understand this, you know. As we proceed.
or share a ride or walk. Come to a mass meeting Monday at 7 p.m. at the Holt Street Baptist Church for further instruction.
She took that draft, came to Alabama State's campus, went to the mimeograph office.
She grabs two of her students and they run off these flyers announcing a bus boycott, right? Edie Nixon on a parallel track is calling folks, including Martin Luther King, right? So, and then they all meet the next day. And the men sort of resolve to join these women in this protest.
Mr. Nixon, and I told him, he said, what I'm going to do I'm going to call the chairman of the Ministerial Alliance, ask him to set up a meeting where the community can meet together on tomorrow night, Friday night, because I'll be going to Chicago and I won't be back until after that. Those were the plans. That's what took place. We sowed the seed and all of it came together, and that was the beginning of the Montgomery bus boycott.
Women played a pivotal role before and during the Montgomery bus boycott. Ultimately, it was 4 women, Aurelia Browder, Susie McDonald, Claudette Colvin, and Mary Louise Smith, who agreed to be plaintiffs in Browder versus Gale. The lead plaintiff was Aurelia Browder.
People, again, you see how them come together and just decide, say, this is how we are going to create changes, solution to the problem, instead of just talk about the problem. That's why I say it doesn't make sense to just talk about the problem when we can create solutions. It's so repetitive, just the same problem over and over and over, and nobody say, okay, this is what we have to do. This is come together. You see, the thing about it is, them people that used to come together in a darkness to create plan, you know. This is why I say we have stop of night dance. That's one of the things when I say mother implement. Day parties. If we are a function a day where people can see each other, see how we dress, all of them things there. We must be admired in the light, where we always have to keep dancing in the dark and anger badness happen in the dark. I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying. That's one of my things, pet peeve. They say, how comes we just keep dance at night time? As we proceed.
Aurelia Browder.
Well, Aurelia Browder had the fortune or misfortune to be born to a civic-minded father, Josh Shine, who assisted in the organization of the first boycott in Montgomery in 1901. And the principles of equal rights on the Constitution is instilled in her from almost childhood. She was always interested in the movement, part of the NAAC, part of the MIA, part of Women's Political Council. So that was her involvement in the community. In April 1955, my mother suffered her last arrest on the bus by the bus driver. And she went to Edie Nixon, who at the time had influence with the NAACP, and asked them for their support of her as a litigant in a lawsuit against the racism on the buses. During that time, though, most people now understand that people could be arrested by the police, as were Rosa Parks, Claudette Colvin, and Mary Louise Smith Ware, along with a host of other people from 1896 when the law went into place. But they didn't, a lot of them don't understand that the bus drivers also had that authority. And it was my mother's fate to have been arrested at least twice by the bus driver. Um, but when she talked to Edie Nixon about being a plaintiff, he didn't feel like she would be a good plaintiff. The reason that she was given that she was too outspoken and too self-sustaining. Rosa Parks couldn't be the plaintiff because of her litigation in city court. And they knew that if they went to city court, they would lose, as the city had already indicted 189 people for violations they said were in connection to operating an illegal carpool and having a boycott.
The Spark case went through the Alabama Court of Appeals, and she was ultimately found guilty. There was another case we filed, Browder versus Gale. The community talked to people to see who they thought would make good plaintiffs in the federal lawsuit once they decided to do that. But they only decided to do that after Dr. King's house was bombed. And once they...
After Dr. King's house was bombed. And people are serious, you know. I'm telling you.
That decision. And the people, they brought them to my office and I talked with them. The ones that I thought should be plaintiffs, I so told them, and they authorized me to do it. Mrs. Browder was in it, Claudette Carvin, through her parents, were in it. Miss McDonald was in it, and Mary Louise Smith and her father were all parts of it. And it is that case, a Browder versus Gale case, that ultimately went to the Supreme Court that declared segregation on the buses in Montgomery to be unconstitutional.
I don't know a stronger person, man or woman, than Aurelia Browder. She was my example. Most people ask me, who's the man in my life? I said, Aurelia Browder. I said, that was your mama? Yeah, that was my mama. That was the man in my life.
But telling us that that's how it was. Some mother, trust me, them straight. Yes, father strict and straight, but some mother, they don't trust me, them don't tolerate no bull. They don't take no crap. I'm gonna tell you, say, just like how the man them have that look, the woman them have that look too. See? It's just a different times, different belief, discipline, respect. All of them things that is missing. These are the things that are missing, that are not being practiced. Where these people, in them early days, yeah, they had them have to have a strong mind, a strong will. Look where them people are go against, man. A society them people are go against, you know. Even though a society said the laws where them create. Jeez. The laws and I go do a part on the Jim Crow laws and all of them things that were them things they mean, because I tell you, say, we not pay attention, we're not diving deep, we're not highlight us.
She was a rock. I want her to be remembered as a person who stood up for what she believed in, who made her contribution not based on notoriety or popularity, but because she felt it was the right thing to do. She didn't look for any accolades as a result of it, although she got quite a few. Most people that knew her knew what she had done. I think I know that Reverend Say wrote about it in his book, Joanne Robinson in her book. She got her, she used to always say, give me my flowers while I'm alive.
Big up. Manners, respect. Lady, your greatness can never be forgotten, miss. Respect.
She got her flowers. So her example to each of us should be to stand up for what we believe in. Well, however many are standing, if we're standing by ourselves.
There's a monument downtown on commemorating Rosa Parks, and I was asked to sit on a committee to comment on that monument, and I asked that the 4 other women who were plaintiffs in the Browder versus Gale case be a part of that monument. And if you go to that monument and you look on the ground on the 4 corners around Rosa Parks, she's standing on the shoulders of those women, including Claudette Colvin, who were arrested before her, who took a seat or a stand before Rosa Parks.
The whole movement would not have been successful without them, you know, because they were critical. Because they were critical. They provided support, you know, and you talk about, and these were women, you know, for the most part. So the women were kind of behind the scenes, you know, except for Rosa Parks, who stepped out there. And though, like Rosa Parks stepped out, there were women, these were women. Claudette Colvin, Aurelia Browder, Mary Smith, Rosa Parks. These were women who stepped out there and got this movement going.
SAS is transforming
people. Here, stepped out there, the solid. Enough love and respect to the man them we have a solid. We're tough like nail, but soft like sponge. Solid. Want thank you, woman, ladies, heroes, Miss Burgundies, mothers, for all of the job we know for so long. And I get no credit. Because you see how great them people is. And then finally I get them recognition. But the people them I love them, you know. See them greatness. And not take it for granted. You see that our son. That was Aretha Browder and Butler Browder. We'll talk about his mother. As we proceed, people.
Movement going.
It is entirely possible for a Black girl to be loved. See me, Black as I am, and call me beautiful. No revolution necessary, no brave needed, just loving me. It is not unusual to love me, Black as I am. It is not because I'm so strong, so exotic, so walk on the wild side. What side? See my skin. It's not chocolate or coffee or caramel. It is inedible. It is nothing to see with colonizers' eyes, nothing to trap with pity or praise, nothing to bruise, to make purple with your power. My skin is soft like anything soft. It is a reflection of God. It is a heavenly mirror. Don't you see that? You're there too. Black as I am, I can shine anything back. Even the sun wants to cling to me.
People, that is Ashley M. Jones. Seeing people? I'm gonna rewind that there. People, but tell us that the greatness on both sides of the spectrum. It amazes dazzle the eyes. But me say if we not bring out that dazzle in each other. Wow. Ladies, that this one again I'm saying it's justice. It's sitting for justice, the Montgomery bus boycott. Right? And it's so inspiring because I'm telling you, say, one of the ladies them is still alive today, right? And one of them kids is still alive. Them still, it's not like that's in the past, man. And I'm gonna say, people, as we proceed.
Mirror, don't you see that? My skin is soft like so exotic. So walk on the wild side. What side? No revolution necessary. No brave needed. Just loving me. It is not unusual to love me, black as I am. It is not because I'm so strong, so exotic, so walk on the wild side. What side? See my skin. It's not chocolate or coffee or caramel. It is inedible. It is nothing to see with colonizers' eyes, nothing to trap with pity or praise, nothing to bruise, to make purple with your power. My skin is soft like anything soft. It is a reflection of God. It is a heavenly mirror. Don't you see that? You're there too. Black as I am, I can shine anything back. Even the sun wants to cling to me.
Yo, that's powerful, straight up. That is powerful. That's a Miss Berg on the right. That's a straight. Dedicated. As we proceed, people, this is a good one. I know I said this is a good one, cause trust me. And the rest of ladies, them when me have a highlight, trust me, them follow the journey, people, follow the journey, people, follow the journey.
Even the sun wants to cling to me.
Fred David Gray was a difference maker. He provided the difference between night and day for Black life. To give you an idea of what we're saying, Reverend Solomon Sage Sr., Edgar D. Nixon, when a Black person experienced police brutality or a young Black woman was raped, that lady found her way to the home of Solomon Sage Sr., Edgar D. Nixon. Sometime it might be 2 o'clock in the morning. And they would go to City Hall to plead that person's case. But that was about it. But with Fred Gray, things began to change. And as fate would have it, Fred Gray would not have to work alone. A young minister came to Montgomery to assume the pulpit of historic Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. He would provide the persuasiveness and frame it in religious terms and philosophical terms. And when he combined that with what Fred Gray brought from the legal side, all of a sudden, Black Montgomeryans and white persons in this town who embrace justice could say, we now have the dawn of a new day in the capital city.
The bus boycott had a tremendous impact. It is ground zero for the modern civil rights movement. It is ground zero for a campaign that would marry nonviolent civil disobedience, church-based mass mobilization, religious leadership, direct action, and litigation, all into one movement. So the bus boycott had all of those components, and it married those components into a movement that could be replicated, intentionally replicated throughout the South. So out of the bus boycott and out of the Montgomery Improvement Association, you had the creation of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which the founders, Martin Luther King and his lieutenants, they created the SCLC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, to do around the South what the Montgomery Improvement Association did in Montgomery. So it was very intentional. And so they took those.
Okay, and that's it. Replication. It can be replicated in other places. You see, them take Singapore, them take uh the blueprint from Jamaica and go Singapore go implement it. But how they implement it, it's from the head down, which means then get rid of the corrupt politician them first. Right? So things can be implemented. I tell you, so them people are smart, These people, at the time when it was necessary for them to do things together. And them talk about the church. I'm gonna say the church has to be a part of it. The church can't just be a collection agency. And that's what pretty much it is now. Watch a video where the preacher said, oh, must say $5,000 can do or something like that. More. Just the fact that people put their money into something and there's no benefit for the people or the community. Because if the church did add on, like say, a school section to the church where them have after right through the week, them would have like Bible studies for kids, teaching classes, farming, civic, all of them things that it would be part of the church, but it would be for the kids. So if that was implemented also in the community, that would have helped the community in a tremendous way. Other than just say, okay, we only open on Sunday, and when Sunday come, we only talk about God. When church over, you go on your yard, on depend on your own. So when I look at these past and see how everything came together, the man say it. The church came together with the legal system, which means that the lawyers them supposed to do free voluntary work in the community and give out the law, how to go about legal way to deal with situation, even with the police them, right? So it's not just one part of society to fix society, but it's also the people too. The people them are part of the. Sure, as we proceed, people, make we listen.
They took those tools, mass mobilization, church-based organizing, litigation, direct action protest, and they took that to Jackson, Mississippi, Orlando, Florida, South Carolina, just throughout the nation. And so Montgomery was the place where that formula was hammered out and then replicated in what we know as the civil rights movement.
Montgomery, Alabama has made a dent that few other cities in this nation, if not this world, can claim the title to. Montgomery, Alabama. And that's why we want people to always, wherever they go, to feel proud of telling people, not just I'm from Montgomery, but I'm from that city that made a difference.
I think the fact that we stood together in Montgomery for 381 days was inspirational for people who also thought that they could generate some of the same feelings. And Ernie Green, who was a friend of mine, one of the Little Rock Nine, said that he was inspired by Montgomery. And most of the people that we talked to that were a little older than me and college students and that, they were inspired by what happened in Montgomery. And in fact, this movement impacted the world stage. In fact, there were other movements around the world that said that because of what happened here in Montgomery, they would, especially in Africa, in fact, all around the world, people sought to have a nonviolent movement.
So you can see when all of these people come together, and I don't think that's an accident. That's the reason I said fate would have it. I don't think it was an accident that Joanne Robinson gets here in the late 1940s, that E.D. Nixon's already here, so he knows the turf. Rufus Lewis is already here. He knows the turf from the east side of town. E.D. Nixon from the west side of town. And then you bring a Fred Gray back to town who's already committed to tearing down the walls of Jericho. And then you bring in a young minister.
In less than 24 hours, you have
all of the components put together to make it work. People, that's the amazing things about unity. That's the amazing thing about unity. The very fact that we can come together, put our differences aside.
A young minister who turns down a job in Chattanooga and decides that he would come to Montgomery instead, this quiet, peaceful city, to complete his dissertation. And did he write a dissertation? In fact, people are still writing dissertations on MLK, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. So what I'm saying is simply this. It is amazing the kind of combination that we had in Montgomery in 1955 that came together as never before in the history of this city to fight for justice that people all over the country today enjoy the results of. And it all started in Montgomery, Alabama. And just think, had it not been for Rosa Parks, who becomes the face of that challenge, what might have happened if we had not had a person with an outwardly quiet demeanor? And how many people have become intoxicated by that outwardly quiet demeanor to assume that she was equally quiet on the inside? Rosa Parks was anything but that. But they don't remember or even focus on the fact that this was a Christian lady. This was a lady who read the Bible. This was a lady who loved gospel singing. This was a lady who believed in justice. She just was not bombastic in her approach to things. One of the most prominent persons that we talk about today, the beginning of his involvement in civil rights, we can trace to the Montgomery bus boycott years. When Dr. King appeared on radio on Sunday mornings to preach, that sermon could be heard throughout the area. And if you lived in rural Alabama, I guess even to this day, your church service might not begin at 11 o'clock. Your church service might begin at 1 o'clock or whenever the pastor arrived. And in one of our neighboring counties, a young boy heard one of those sermons of Dr. King, Paul's letter to the American Christians. And he was so impressed with that sermon. On that day, he decided to devote his life to civil rights. And I think if John Lewis was here today, he would tell you just how much he appreciated hearing Dr. King preach that sermon. So that's the kind of impact the Montgomery bus boycott had, not just on people in this town, but in the surrounding area. And I think John Lewis is a good example.
If you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, and you say, well, what were the defining features of it? And it was mass mobilization, protest, nonviolent resistance, lobbying, pushing for legislation. It wasn't as based in the church as the earlier phase of the movement was. This manifestation was a bit different in that facet, but other than that, it mimics the 1950s and 60s in a variety of different ways, and so it directly informs. And you could see,
and that's true. In many ways, Matella say if the basic is formed right, the formula is right, you get the right people networking and putting together, right? Even the funeral home where them use them car for transport people and all of them things there. That's networking and using all facet of community to come together. But with the Black Life thing, we don't know how that go already. And again, we're going to deep dive into that. But yes, they did use the implementation of getting people together, right? To get the money as we proceed, people.
and you could see this even in the bus boycott, where you have students who are freshmen in 1956. They step into a Montgomery in the midst of a full-blown bus boycott, right? And they attend these nonviolent direct action social workshops, and they learn the theory and the philosophy behind nonviolent resistance. And then when they become seniors in 1960s, they participate in the sit-ins, the same students, right? They had sat at the feet of, King and the other movement luminaries, and they understood the approaches and employed those approaches themselves. And then you see that lesson sort of continue. People, you ask people, what are talk about the Martin Luther King and the bus boycott, and they'll say generally, I mean, really, not only in the United States, we get visitors from all over the world. They kind of know Martin Luther King and the Montgomery bus boycott, and they can tell you what people protested, they picketed, they boycotted. Just so that's direct action, mass mobilization. So they know the features. That's part of the American experience now. It's part of what it is to be an American now, is that this is one way, from a constitutional perspective. The Constitution says you have the right to redress government. And this is the way that people now redress government, and to put pressure on their political and elected officials to change those laws in a way that reflect the nation that we aspire to be.
The problems that we have today are basically the overall problems are the same. We had two problems when we were brought here as slaves. One was racism, and they didn't bring white folks, they brought black folks. And two, it was inequality. We didn't have any rights. And what all of the groups have done from slavery time forward, including Reconstruction, was to continue to try to improve and peck away at doing away with it. Police brutality is nothing new. It's been here all the time. We're going to have to still continue to work with it. But it's not a one-man show. If you go back and look at the bus boycott and look at the civil rights development or civil rights movement that it has developed, you'll find that it took a lot of people. There was the lawyers involved, there were people making speeches, there were people who were demonstrating, there were people who were doing a lot of different things, not jumping out there by yourself, but work on it, make a plan. So I say to all of us that we still have these problems involved that we had then. A lot of them have been solved. They're not nearly as difficult as they used to be, but we need to come up with a plan. One, we need to acknowledge that racism and inequality is wrong. and it needs to be stopped. If Joanne and I had not done what we did in her living room that night, that would have been, I'm sure, a civil rights movement, but that would have been, and if Mrs. Parks had not done what she did on December the 1st, she wouldn't have been arrested. That would have been
December the 1st. December the 1st. That's so significant because I'm telling you, December goal, right? Every breath you take is precious. And the very fact that she looked on herself as gold, it's significant. And that's how we're supposed to see ourselves, as golden. We are amazing, I keep on saying, we're amazing. So how comes we not show amazement all the time? That's why I'm saying I have to highlight these things. I have to show us that them people are persevere in a times when perseverance was a glimmer of hope. But these people are hopeful. As we proceed.
Arrested, there would have been she wouldn't have been tried on the 5th. There would have been no bus protests. There would have been no meeting at Hope Street Baptist Church. Dr. King would not have been would not have been selected to be the speaker. And of course, Claudette Colvin had done what she had done and gave all of us impetus and encouragement to go on. So we have to have a plan. Once we have a plan, you got to implement the plan. And once you implement the plan, you have to remember that each one of us has got to be a part of doing away with it.
Fred Gray, major difference. And that's why we can talk about Claudette Colvin and many other persons, because in Montgomery, there was a civil rights attorney for the first time.
I would like to believe that as a youngster, I was able to recognize some problems that existed in Montgomery, Alabama, and those problems were racial problems that African Americans were involved in. Not only that, but I had enough sense to realize that lawyers supposed to help people solve problems. And I had enough sense to become a lawyer, to come back to Alabama, and with a lot of help along the way, we were able to help to change the conditions in this country. And that's what I have tried to do for these 67 years. And I hope others will be able to see that whatever the problems are, if you work toward solving them, who knows, you might be able to start a movement.
People, okay. Tell me, said I want no good people. Yo, that was look. I tell you, said them people when me bring on, these people are all smart people, educated people, know way more than me. But the fact say I'm highlighting these people, I get the opportunity to highlight them people here. I'm loving it because these people are so beautiful. Them words are so powerful. Yes? And this is always supposed to inspire each other. I know I can't sit down here and talk all day about the 12 colors. But when I sit down and listen to these people and introduce these people and see them greatness, it's worth it. It's worth highlighting them and showing say greatness exists within all of us. And these people, them just reach in and bring it forth. make it alive, make it reach so many other people. When I listen to them talk, man, it's wow. Yes, them great. They're amazing people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we're supposed to. That's how we're supposed to look at each other. Give the compliment, the ear, there, everywhere. All right, so the next person I'm telling you say it's ladies will highlight. I'm telling you say as much as the man them educated, there's equal amount and even more educated women out there. And I'm not just saying that to say just to say it, but when you look at how much lawyer graduate last year from law school in Jamaica, I never see 10 man. Straight. Me I say so wait, so no man no graduate. Or them probably do the man graduation at a different time. I don't know, but me just have seen so much ladies graduate. I can say it's possible there's more educated woman than man. And then them do the study where woman wanted to be have them career, so them go university and then go college and do all of them things there. Right? So this one is from a Rastafari lady point of view. And again, I tell you say them things here. Some of them I tell you about this one. I never knew TV them so much. We am reason with him guess them and everything and let the people them talk about their situation. This is me said, this is how we're supposed to reason. This is how we're supposed to have this level of vibration. So let the Rasta lady speak.
Kings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress of Zero Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion's Voice. We are here as the Lion Voice Network in association with I Never Knew TV Revolutionary Partnership to bring cutting edge Rastafari content. We are here in Kingston, Jamaica, in the community of Harborview with someone who, if you're in Jamaica and you have anything to do with entertainment industry and you do not know this face, I question your credentials. I say that because every event, years, and she is a connector. She's a force to be reckoned with. She is a resource person, grassroots promotion extraordinaire. She is part of the lifeblood of the Rastafari creative community here in the island of Jamaica. And she's a warm mother to many. I am honored to introduce Sister Aisha, Sister Marcia.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, please, to the family.
Okay, first of all, I have to say greetings, to Radioland. Greetings to the Rastafari family. Honor, glory, and praises to the Most High's Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, and of course His Balance, Empress Menen. I give thanks to be on this platform. As you said, it is the Lion's Voice, in association with
I never knew.
I never knew TV. You know, I'm learning and I'm giving thanks to be on this platform. I've been hearing about it, and here I am. I'm Marcia Elliott, known as Queen Aisha or Sister Aisha. I have been trotting Rastafari since I was 18. I would say 17 plus 18. I don't know if you in the interview want to go back to anything. I'm just letting you know that's from when. A member of the 12th tribe of Israel from the tribe of Benjamin. Um, I was working in the corporate world in the accounts department, these insurance companies and all of that. And it's just by visiting the United States and moving with my brother Fred Lux, I learned a little about music. Came back to Jamaica, and Bridget Anderson, who was managing a Ghana Sick at the time, remember she saw me in America and wanted to know more about me. So she asked me if I was involved in the music industry. I said, no, 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 no. I was just assisting my brother. She said, well, what I saw you doing, could you do that for me? I said, what is that? She go into a show with Garnet Silk and she's an artist. Just want me to just be there and make sure everything's all right. Well, Sister Judy Morton wanted someone to do some office work in a project she was doing named Woman to Woman. And Bridget said, I saw a sister and she probably could do that, but I see where she could do something more. Sister Judy asked, what's the name? She said, Marseille. She said, don't go any further. Send her to me. She's like a big sister to me. Sister Judy is like a big sister to me. So when she heard the name, she wanted me right away. I worked with her for 3 years. I went as far as Africa with her. That was Zimbabwe. And the rest is history when it comes in the music industry, because moving with her, people found out about me that I can do all these good works, going to shows with her. And then that is how I worked with the Rebel Salute for much years and all these big shows that you say, Western Consciousness, you name it. So it's just like I left from the corporate world right into the entertainment industry. I was a Korek Queen in 2019. Korek is Queen of Reggae Islands honorary ceremonies, where they identify women in the background in the music industry who has been doing things that nobody knew they were doing. And this lady, Laurel Nurse, who's a nurse by profession, our nurse is our last name, and also she sings the song Night Nurse. And
That's a lot of nurses, you see, and some people kind of gravitate to their last name, and that's true, right? That's one of the things me look into to people them last name and see where it represent. Enough of the time when you see them last name and you see the people, okay, like Madlock, when you see when name again, that brother there, made of Madlock. Me no know how no can give a man with the last name Madlock money if you see. Okay, as we proceed.
And also, she sang the song Night Nurse. And she realized that I was doing a lot, and she herself nominated me to be a Corey Queen. And it opened up it opened up a scope to a lot of people who didn't even know anything about me, you know, and it just widened my vocabulary in what I do. And I'm now Quick Blast Media. That's my name, Quick Blast Media in the music industry.
I want us to go forward into your childhood. Jamaica is a very color conscious society, you know, where dark skinned people are treated one way. If you're light skinned, you're treated another way. Obviously, you're of a lighter complexion. Before you were Rastafari, you would have been what Jamaica people would have been.
Okay, all right. You see, Jamaica, missing them pretty up every. Okay, classism. It's racism, you know. It's racism, but just because we are pretty it up now, we call it something different from what it is. If you don't like a person because of them skin color, that's racism. Straight and simple. If you don't like a person because of them hairstyle or them religion, that's racism. Any way you look on it, this woman say, it don't make no sense. Or we are fight for something, fight against something that we are. First of all, we have to find out if we are racist. We have to ask yourself that. Because how we treat each other, right? It shows that we are racist. I'm going to do one video upon that too. Can we be racist? But as we continue, it's not classism. I say it's racism. Because if you hate a person because of them skin or put them in a different category, that's racism.
in what Jamaica people would have been held very highly. So coming into Rastafari is almost like you dash away all of that privilege that you would have had in the society. What made you, first of all, were you aware of the color issue in the Jamaican society growing up as a child? And what made you, even though you know what was on the other side in terms of how you would be viewed by society, why did you choose to leave that?
Have you ever felt like
Are you gonna be viewed by society? Are you gonna be viewed like racist? You see, when we talk a certain way, it's like say we are denied the fact that these things are what it is though. If people look down upon you because of you like how them treat Rasta, or you can hate Rasta and say yeah, it's not a racist. What Rasta do to you personally, say you hate Rasta, and if one Rasta do something against you, you can't hate all Rasta. That's racism. So when we pretty up the word and say all of these things, it means one thing, people. We have to understand, them things that we do, we can't blame other people for doing it, and then we do it to each other. That's why I say when we detail these things, it's not just detailing what they do to us, it's what we do to ourselves and how we don't see ourselves. Because if you have to hate somebody else for you to feel good, you'll never feel good. As we proceed.
On the other side, in terms of how you would be viewed by society, why did you choose to leave that, what they would call light skin privilege in America, to take this stride, that would identify you with Africa and blackness?
All right. It's so funny though, because when I was going primary school, the teachers were predominantly black skinned. The headmistress Catholic was black skinned. And I had a problem as a clear light skinned person. The teachers didn't like me. They would just want to, find fault.
Okay, you see? Okay, so why do you think them never like her? Because, okay, why do you think them really never like her? Eh? And a teacher is not supposed to be biased. A teacher is not supposed to be biased. As an educator, you cannot teach bias because now this a big woman now. I said the teacher never like her. So from then, this little picnic understand what bias is. The things that we do to each other, this much I showed. Cheese people. You see them things, That's why I say I want the man them and the woman them to speak. Because how we see things is not through one person's eyes. We should be able to see through other people's eyes and understand. Empathy. Something what me not think so we really have, what me not think so we really have that feelings, that emotion there. As we proceed.
Teachers didn't like me. They would just want to, find faults about me because of my light skin. So even though it would have been a better opportunity to be light skin, it wasn't for me in primary school. However, moving from that and going to high school now, I bucked up on a lot of light skinned girls. So I felt comfortable, and of course, as you said, from your light skin is like what would I say in Jamaica, from your light, you're right, and things like that. And I felt comfortable, but then there was something inside of me that said, this color is not the thing for you. Because I don't know about the 12, a little about the 12 tribe of Israel, not everything. I realize a mixture of people. But in my own consciousness, my own spirit, is Angela Davis that brought me to my consciousness. And I read a little about Marcus Garvey, but not Angela Davis. And inside of me, I said, I don't care about color or anything. I want Afro. I don't want no more process here. I want Afro. I want to be African. And I used to buy my African fabrics and get them made. And I wanted to be African because I wanted to be black. Even though, as you said, the light skin thing would have done something for you. Looking back at my pictures, I said, wow. I even saw myself wearing some styles that I wasn't even conscious about because my father was very strict, We couldn't just do anything we wanted to do. Very strict up until when I left his house. So I didn't get some opportunities that I think other girls probably got. And I think it was good for me. That's why I signed up Rastafari, because in that way in which he brought us, it just led me straight into the teachers of Rastafari, and I felt comfortable.
What is it about Rastafari that attracted you? And when was the moment that you ascribe divinity to the emperor in your child, as a young person? What were some of the seminal moments for you along that journey that made you say, I'm going to say Rastafari, I'm going to declare this Ethiopian emperor as a divine personality?
All right, before I jump to Haile Selassie, because as I said, it was a Black Power movement thing. I went to the hospital with my brother, a younger brother, who had broken his leg. And while waiting there, quite a few different types of people were there. I had a miniskirt, ear process, and all of that. And then there's a sister in there. She was saying, Babylon, it's Babylon system, a fire burn for them, look how long people are waiting and we can't get through. And I'm looking at her like, because of course I'm this middle class girl and I'm wondering, but her spirit just draw her to come over to me. And she came and sat beside me and she said, daughter, it's a spirit cemetery. I feel a spirit. You don't look like you see how you look? You're different. More asking, you don't think so we stay here too long. You don't think so it's Babylon system this. Sister mess up the vibes. And I say, yeah. She said, what church you go? What you do? I said, I go to the Catholic church. She said, no, instead of Our Father. I said, yes. She said, well, me, I got to tell you about the Our Father. I'm a 12 tribe member. My name is Sister Nanny. And I'm going to tell you about the Our Father. And this is how it is. And she went straight into Our Father. And when she reached the point that she said, thy kingdom come and thy will be done. That part is up hard and hold me. She said, the kingdom there. I've never heard that anywhere. And thy will be done. So I said, what is this kingdom? She said, from Haile Selassie, who was the king of Ethiopia. I don't know nothing. At this time, Fred Locks was in the Rastafari faith in Naya Bingi and was getting a great fight from the family. He never had a chance to even teach us anything because we wouldn't listen because we were just thinking something was wrong with Rastafari.
Even though we have 2 years, we don't listen. Because we just think there's something wrong with we just think, no, we not think. Somebody tell we. You see, all of them things that we now say the truth, We now say the truth. People teaches us these stuff. I tell you sometime I did meet the Rasta man the time and the Rasta man talked to me. That was my first encounter with a Rasta man. And him talk to me and everything. It's just the spirit, him energy, everything was just right. It was just righteous, right? So it's the things that was taught to us before. If nobody never tell me say Rastaman this and Rastaman that, right? It's after me hear people talk about Rastaman in certain ways. And then me always wonder why them hate Rastaman so much. And Rastaman is like them righteous. The real Rastaman, them are righteous people. As we proceed, the Rasta lady attack.
Because we were just thinking something was wrong with Rastafari. But the way in which she came over to me and started explaining, I said to her, so how can I know more? She said, we're having a meeting tonight. And can you come? I said, where is it? She said, Trench Town. I said, where? I said, I don't know because my father is so strict. No. She said, well, I don't know. And then while I was sitting there, I said, she peeping. And then she said, tweet it. I don't know what that meant. She said, tweet it. And then there came this brethren, walk up. It's my boyfriend. It was my boyfriend at the time. He dropped me off to the hospital as a member of 12 tribes. But he never told me anything about 12 tribes. He figured my father was so strict. I was so much into my church going. He didn't want to mess with anything that maybe he didn't feel comfortable yet at the time to talk about it. I don't know. But it was her that told me about the 12 tribes of Israel. Her that invited me to the meeting. Her that kept following me up, by visiting me or I visit her. He was not the one that was pushing the fact.
Okay, listen to that. You see? Him in it, and him feel say, right? She wasn't ready for that. And somebody come along, introduce her to it, and she's in it till now. Right? So how you get there, it's not the path where you always expect, It's not the path where many times me tell you say help coming at the places where you don't expect it. I you no know. So it's not It's not expecting it, right? Because she expect it from one place and it just surprise her in her next place. So help can come from anywhere. It help comes when it's needed. Shooting.
Fire. I guess, as I said, he didn't want to get what you call a blame from my father. So I would think I came up there not through a man. I came up there, but I trust his strength through my own conscious.
In less than 24.
And that's the thing. You have to want to find yourself. Cause she said when them look upon her certain ways, that's people judge you. Oh, you come from uptown, so obviously uptown your mentality is. Can't judge people or you can't condemn people until them show you who them is. As we proceed, people.
They're not through a man. I came up there, but I trust his strength through my own consciousness. So going to the 12 tribe meetings now, they were talking about repatriation back to Africa. That's me. Angela Davis spoke about that. So I said, this is where I belong because I want to go back to Africa. That's where I belong. And that encourages me to go to the meetings. Brother Gad was the one that, would talk and he would teach us a lot of things. This very short man that had so much power and talk about the Bible, a chapter a day to keep the devil away and all these things. And talking about the lineage of His Majesty with David and Christ and everything. I was a church person. So all this was good for me. The Bible, back to Africa, this is where I belong. And then one night, like I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I was looking at a book with His Majesty. I wanted to know more about him. And I could have felt his eyes like twinkling. And it's like a simple move. It's like he said something to me. And I said, I Selassie Rastafari, you're the Almighty. I mean, I have nowhere else to go. And that was it for me. And that was from 1975.
Wow.
Or about 74, 75.
Wow.
Never look back.
For those who are not familiar, explain what the 12th tribe of Israel is, because in America, there's a group called the Hebrew Israelites now that are getting very popular, that are declaring that Black people are the children of Israel, in the diaspora.
Yeah, and I may hear about them, brother. But those guys, they're kind of they're in your face type of. I don't know. I guess I can do a thing on them too, but to me, them kind of too aggressive type of thing. For me personally, right? Them wear purple, which is the 13 color. I don't talk about the 13 color because in North America it doesn't 12 colors never exist in North America, much less 13 colors. But the 13 color is purple. And someday I'll get into that. But me tell you, say I've seen those guys and listen to them speak. As we proceed.
Black people are the children of Israel, in the diaspora. 12 tribe has been saying this from the 60s, that, the same, but from a different perspective. It just explain to those who are not familiar, what is the 12 tribe of Israel and some of the doctrine, the general doctrine.
All right, well, the first thing that really captured me, other than going to the meetings and learning about back to Africa, was the tribes. And I wanted to know how they came about, the tribes. And for us to be Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and all of that. Well, the 12 tribe of Israel, HQs, always have a chart. And the chart teaches about the tribes and the different organs and all of that. So they always encourages us to come to the HQ, read these charts and ask questions. And we would do that. And from that, we are learning that in the Bible, it talk about 144,000 people that will be chosen. And Brother Gad, with other members, Rastafari brothers, in their opinion, forming this 12 tribe of Israel, which started really through the Ethiopian World Federation, with a lot of brothers coming together. And everyone took a charter. And 12 tribe took Charter 15, and their charter was to go out there and preach Rastafari. And Brother Gad decided to call his one 12 tribe of Israel, because in his vision, he saw the 144,000 people and a mixed multitude is going to be the people that he will be in charge of, that he will be teaching. So I came in when it probably was like a couple of years after it started, but came in at a time where I could understand at that age what it was all about. And in my opinion, I felt right. I felt it was right because the tribes, and when it explained your tendency, it suited me. The back to Africa, the everything. And as we go along, we learn more and more. I would go to a Benjamin because I'm Benjamin and let him tell me more about my tribe. Brother Get sometime will be there to tell us as well. Because every time we go to the HQ, it's like a schoolroom. We'll go and get educated. And that is where it was for me.
And this is this is where we would have like a study. If it's like, say if it's a Bible, all of us would be studying up, bring on the Bible, right? Today we're gonna be talking about the Bible, right? And so if it's science, bring on a science book. The people that might have the knowledge and the know-how, right? And we'd have a class on that. Just like what I'm talk about, when you go to educate each other. This woman say, this is what I believe, right? There's so much knowledge, so much great people. If we are talk about them great people here, right? These great people, right? Them words will appear more to the people them around us. The more we learn, the more we know, This is why I say to listen to these people talk and understand just the culture within our culture. Because me tell you, say, me know about Rastafari culture. I know about it, but when she explain it, I'm knowing more. As we proceed, people, education time.
Impact I had to say, yeah, this is a road that I am going to try because it resonates with a lot of things that I believe in. And is it really the tribes? The tribes in which is in the way in which he connected it to the 144,000, to Jacob's children, to Sister Dinah, and everything. Just the biblical way in which he presented it to us. That was what.
Hold on. He says 144,000, right? I'm gonna talk about 144, right? I'm talking about 144,000. For me, it's 144 different shades of the same color, right? So there's gonna be people like you, but they're not you. You guys gonna have similarities, right? That is so cool. That is really cool. 144,000. I just love that number. 144,000.
Presented it to us. That was what impacted on me, and I said, yes, this is right.
So your family, you have a brother that is well known in Jamaica. Some would say a legendary root singer. What was it like growing up with a brother that had a hit song in Jamaica, a song that in the annals of Rastafari is one of those songs that will always is an anthem.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like growing up with a family member that was so prominent?
Mm-hmm. All right, because when he was in Nyabingi, tried in Nyabingi, and wasn't into music, and we didn't really have anything to do with him. A brethren named, we call him Booty, Hugo.
We never really have nothing to do with, you see, you see how it stay though. When you know fear was the one you don't know you, right? This one I tell you. Me know exactly. Look, them always have somebody in the family where other people them not like. And the reason why them not like the person is because them not get to know the person or what other people say about the person. Me tell you, say it's if we don't have community within our family, and that's how animosity starts, I tell you the honest truth because she people, this is why I'm telling you, I love to listen. I love to listen when people talk. Because they are going to kill themselves. As we proceed, people.
Anything to do with him. A brethren named, we call him Booty, Hugh Boot, from 12 Tribes, was into music with Jalov and all of that. And they discovered Fredlocks and took him from that kind of rough life that he had and said, I've heard him singing. I said, this boy can't stay there, and decided.
you see, you see, people who not just no listen for real. So obviously, you know, one bad state and the family didn't know nothing to do with it. It sound like a gully bob story, not true. I say we're cold people. We are so cold. When you're looking at the detail of we know, we're cold people. Hmm? Somebody have to come pick him up, brush him off with the voice who him have. Him have talent. I tell us that we have skills, we have talent. But if nobody stands with you, man, all that talent, all that skill becomes disappointment, depression. As we proceed, people.
This voice can't stay there, and decided to manage him. So when they started managing him, and we heard the music.
I just see a music him did that sing around them, you know. What you think? A new music him I just see a music him a sing around them, see a new conscious music him a sing around them. Him a uplift everything, but you put little beat to it, you know. Put on some clothes on him and now put some money in his pocket. How him look now, people? Does he look better? Eh? Yes or no, people? I'm telling you, say, always steer sometimes, you know. Boy, it deep, people. It deep. But I tell you, say, we're learning, right? We have to learn. We have to understand people.
Yeah, stay there, and decided to manage him. So when they started managing him, and we heard the music playing, you know, we never hear it as much because radio wouldn't play it. But people would say, well, you're your brother down the corner singing a song and it sound good. And, you know, they saw what they saw in him, but we didn't.
Yeah, if you stop now, people. You don't have enough evidence, people. Eh? Do you guys have enough evidence now? Eh? People can come see the same thing in a me. What one not see? Boy, I'm telling us that people. Ah, it no sir. Mm-mm. Well, at least she honest now, you know. At least all of the honesty just a pour out. But when the honesty a pour out, you have to listen and understand. Say it did rough for him, and as you can see, you see fear our skin color, right? That's why I say, the mentality what we have, you know, if we love special for some people, if we love just, you know, love with kids and hate the neighbors. Yeah, people, it's sad. As we proceed.
They saw him, but we didn't. Until after he went away. He went to England. And the song.
Bob Marley, the same thingy. Until he went away. Until other people see the greatness, until other people appreciate him, until other people love him, then we can say, yes, we love him, man. I feel we pick him, man. Yes. We look how I'm a graduate now. Sad people, sad, you know. We have to get away from each other. When you listen to the story of earlier, when them people they have to come together to solve the issue, we have to leave. We have to leave each other. As we proceed, people.
Number one in England. And that's when we really knew about it. And that was 75. So that's when I knew my brother was a star. Yes, with a Black Star Liner. And then he did an album from it that just started to go all over. And the family started to look at things different. My father started to embrace him a little more because he's thinking.
Why? No, sir. People, I not junk my junk for real. I not junk my junk. Me just just listen though. All the father never liked the man. But as why may I tell you, we're deep, deep and heartless some way. Mm. Mm-mm. Go on, lady, talk your truth, talk your truth, talk your truth, lady, talk your truth.
Look at things different. My father started to embrace him a little more because he's thinking that he's not worthless. He's doing something now. And my father would boast about him. So we were very comfortable and happy with him. And all of us, if even some of my brothers know, if you call them phone, maybe it's his song you hear as a ringtone. So, we were happy. We felt good. We felt good because
Yeah, wanna feel good because now wanna shame, wanna come. Ah, wanna shame people. You doing no good now. You can't buy what the liquor name? Can't buy what what the expensive liquor? Can't you can't buy expensive liquor now. Can't show up on the corner. Can't play music on the corner now, right, people? Him reach and him bring we up. People, it's not funny. It's not funny, but it's ironic though. This is our story though. We not embrace each other. It's not funny, but it's ironic. This is how we treat each other, people. As we proceed, the past, and the present. Seeing how we were in the past and how we are in the present. Education, people. As we proceed, for real.
good. Because of course you have other artists like Burning Spear and Bob Marley at the time, and to know you have a brother. Even when I went to America moving around him, it was a good feeling. Very good feeling. Even now.
One of the defining trademarks of Sister Aisha is that you always attire very royally. You're always in your African clothes. You said that was something from you were a young sistren. How do you feel about some of the younger Rastafari sistren parting with the traditional way of dressing in the more modest attire and maybe dressing a little bit
Modest. Modest? How about naked? How about naked people? That are not modest at all. But we're not gonna touch that. Make sure go on.
provocatively and these kind of things. What are your opinion about the new generation?
I burn it straight. I burn it straight.
Jesus. Go on, lady.
Because we have what we call, can call it a blueprint, or we have what you call a tradition in the Rastafari community. And that to me has not changed. So when these younger people coming in and telling us that they are being modernized, that is why they dress the way they dress. And no, I tell them straight up. Any one of them can tell you. I tell them straight up. I don't join that. Because if they are going to use the fact that if you dress a certain way, you're old, they are making a sad mistake. You want to go to wedding and see the 60-year-old women, how they dress with them batty rather them see-through.
We can't change the name from already. Oh, the color. Not ready. We no can't use that name there. All right, we're going to rely on the lady because she'll speak her mind for real. People, hold on there. Go and speak your mind, lady.
No, I tell them straight up. Anyone young, can call it a blueprint, or we have what you call a tradition in the Rastafari community. And that to me has not changed. So when these younger people coming in and telling us that they are being modernized, that is why they dress the way they dress. And no, I tell them straight up. Any one of them can tell you. I tell them straight up. I don't join that because if they are going to use the fact that if you dress a certain way, you're old, they are making a sad mistake. You want to go to wedding and see the 60-year-old women how they dress with them batty rather them see-through. So it's not an age thing, it's a mind thing. And a lot of them they have a peer pressure problem, believe it or not. They feel if they don't fit in with out there, then they won't be accepted. And it's just so sad because right now you can't even get into them head. Babylon have them so much. I try, I do it in my own little way. When I go and burn it on Facebook, I go and burn them when I see them because I personally burn them. Yeah, like I've got to one of them and I said to her, not because your product is doing good, you have to show up all of your skin. Is that you're joining the world out there now that you have to show up your skin to sell a product? No, it's just that the video catch me at the wrong time. I said that's not an excuse. If you know you're going into a video, you have locks on your head. This is that bring you to here. Why are you now going to go out there? Well,
yes, lady. Totally agree with you. Go and blaze a fire. That me agree with. Because you see, if you want to do something over there, so it's okay for you to do it over there. We not have no problem with you doing it over there. But how is it that you want to do it over here? Why over here, so? When over here, so is not over there, so. This is what I try to show you with all the language and everything become convoluted. Like we can't see the separation of what it's supposed to be. Because you can't go to church a certain way when church supposed to be a certain dressing. Yes, when you go dance, you can't leave dance and go to church. Or if you leave dance, you can't go to church in the same clothes. You have to stop somewhere else and change. It cannot be the same. So yes, lady, burn the fire, yes, blaze it, burn it down, melt it down. I totally agree with you, lady. You have to know the time and the place. I saw you got a quote. When you go face the outcomes and you go face the judge, right? You're just totally different. Or in a church, in a church, you just like say you got a quote. Or when you got a quote, you just like say you got a church. Or one of them, but me know say you dress differently. So you go say at the same thing. Lady, me not cut your talk, but me agree with you 1000%. Go on.
not because your product is doing good, you have to show up all of your skin. Is that you're joining the world out there now that you have to show up your skin to sell a product? No, it's just that the video catch me at the wrong time. I said that's not an excuse. If you know you're going into a video, you have locks on your head. This is that bring you to here. Why are you now going to go out there? Well, I don't start doing it again. But whether I do it in a nice way or an unnice way, I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop saying that sisters not to wear pants. I hate when I walk on the road and I don't know who is man from who is woman. Because the women and the men looking alike. Even with all them everything. Locks, the style of the locks, everything. You don't know man from woman. And I was brought up to know the difference of man from woman. And I now look at that. And I now stop on that. Now stop.
There is a prominent Rastafari woman in the island. What are some of the challenges that Rastafari women face in the tradition, according to your experience?
Well, for me, I love to talk about me. For me, it wasn't that cool because it took even my friends that wasn't Rastafarians a while to accept me. I think maybe because they see me as this what you call it it's like okay. I remember even as a 12 tribe member, without having the locks, I realized that education is important and having a job. So I sent myself back to school and I did accounts. So even though they were watching me over the years with a natural hair, them still would want to say I come to another level, maybe a level like them, but I did let go. And I think it's just because of me being who I am. But it took a little while for people to start accepting. So I did get a fight, a whole heap of fight from school friends, people I work with. my family, everybody, because I'm not letting go. But then eventually they start watching me, who the person, Marcia, Aisha is, and realize, you know something, we're fighting a losing battle. Leave her alone. We're fighting a losing battle. So no, whether they want to accept me or not, I wouldn't know. I don't try to question it. I really don't care. And
Yep. So let me get this straight. You're telling me
This lady is fiery for real. People, we say, you said when you have your own belief, it's yours, right? I'm gonna tell you, say, as much as she said our friends them, how can your friend them a fight you against how you feel about yourself or how you want to be? These friends are supposed to be supporting you. I keep on saying it, you know. But the thing about it is, she said the same thing about her Rasta brother. So I guess in a life, somebody have to fight you at all times, whether family, friends, whoever it is. But me just feel say your friends them supposed to support you, not them not supposed to fight you, right? And that's one of the thing I guess in a free society always happen. Friends always a fight.
whether they
Friends.
want to accept me or not, I wouldn't know. I don't try to question it. I really don't care. I'm not trying to look like any of them for them to accept me. So I think they just look at it and said, that's her. They'll tell you, that's Aisha. That's Aisha. Yeah, so I think, but it wasn't that easy road right through the years. But I think I just proved myself that I am the type of person that I'm dealing with what His Majesty said, education, Empress Menin, how she dresses, and everything. That is my focus, and I don't move from that. So them don't have no choice but to respect me, even if them don't like me.
I was part of 12 Tribe Israel when there were a lot of legendary reggae artists. 12 Tribe was known as the reggae mansion, from Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, you name it, Jacob Miller, they were all part. Were you around when all of these artists were alive and within the 12 Tribe? And what was the energy like during that time?
Very much so. Very much so. But what really resonated with me and made me feel good is that Dennis, when he was around us, he was Dennis, brother Dennis. Bob, brother Bob. They weren't like, we are this big artist, so you have to wait to talk to me, or no. When they are around us, we were like them and they were like us. And it felt good when we saw them getting bigger and we could go to shows. And yeah, the 12 Tribe of Israel was identified as special to come backstage and special, yes. So having these artists in the 12 Tribe of Israel not only just did good for the 12 Tribe of Israel, but for our own spirituality and acceptance out there that yes, Rastafari can just do just about anything and can be big. Yeah, I felt good about that. Even the great Alan Skill Cole with the football, you name it, Freddie McGregor, you name it, we had them. The Dr. Pee Wee, the best doctor in the world, they were all there. Big people, if them said 12 Tribe was the aristocrat organization, all the Jewish students were there, and things like that. But it was good. It was good for us. It was good for us.
You mentioned earlier of the association with Judy Moore. For those who don't know, because we have a large international audience, who is Judy Moore? What is her relation to the music? And just speak more about that experience and that connection that you had with such a legendary reggae artist.
Me and Judy Moore started from in 12 Tribes. I was pregnant and I fell off stand up hill. We were having a meeting and my foot slipped. Nobody knew I was pregnant except me. And I fell off the hill, rolling down. And now I felt hands came and lift me up and they rushed me to the hospital. When I went, the doctor, of course, checking me, realized I was pregnant. So those around me found out. And, it's like they were in awe because this brown, innocent looking girl pregnant and it wasn't showing, and things like that. So when I went back to the meeting, even though I went to the doctor's check.
Well, it's a two-person note. She and our other person.
They took me back to the meeting. And we were coming home. At that time, we have the buses running until 12 o'clock. number 2 bus, I can remember coming to Harborview. Sister Judy was living in Harborview. Remember, I don't know nothing about this lady, you know. So I went up in the bus, and then she called me. She said, "Come here," you know. So I went. She said, "Aren't you the sister who fell off the hill?" I said, "Yes." She said, "And you came back to meeting? Oh, I applaud you." She said, "I'm Judy Mowat." That don't mean nothing to me. I don't know who's Judy Mowat. I said, "Okay." She said, "I live just," and she tell me the road that she lives. So where do you live? And I tell her. She said, "Come and visit me tomorrow." Because that fall, I don't think it was just ordinary. I'll give you some herbs. Just come and visit me. And she tell me, and I went to her. At this time, Rita and Marcia and her were moving together. And it worked out in the long run that when they were going to shows, I would stay with the children. So I had the opportunity to be around Stephen and Sidella. I think Ziggy was a little bigger. I don't know where he was at the time, but I remember Stephen and Sidella. I would watch them. I would push. Sidella was in a pram, yeah, and Stephen was walking beside the pram, and I would take them for walks, right? So, but I didn't know I was in such great companies. I didn't know until years to come. I'm just being who I am and helping, and she just liked my vibes. Then one day, a car pulled up at our gate, and when I looked, it was my son's father. It wasn't my son. He wasn't born as yet. I was pregnant. And I said, "Oh, does he know? Oh, did he know I'm here?" Because I mean, we don't communicate. We don't have no cell phone or nothing like that, you know. It's Judy. He came to Sister Judy, but she didn't know it was my son's father. So when he came, no, I said to her, that's my child's father." She said, "Tweedy," and I said, "Yeah." She said, "Tweedy, who drives me around." So with that, no, she became even closer to me. She just bosomed me. She took care of me right until I had my baby and after I had my baby. She just saw me as her little sister. Yeah. It was, and then knowing that she's going to be a star after and didn't know, and then years after now, she employed me to come and work with her in her office. It was one of the sweetest things that ever happened to me. To know we're coming from way back there with all of that history, and then coming to work with her right beside her and going places with her. We never, up to this very day, it's like something so special between the both of us. Yeah.
You mentioned having a connection to Bob Marley's family.
Mhm.
Next year, there's a big movie coming out, the Bob Marley movie. What are your thoughts about this film coming out? Do you think it will be something positive for Rastafari internationally? This is going to be probably the first time many people get an insight into
Mhm.
the life of Bob Marley and Rastafari. What are your thoughts about this coming film?
When I heard about it, and I did hear that they wanted to get Jamaicans involved in terms of his growth coming up, to get people looking like him and Rita and all of that. And then after watching it, I didn't feel the same way because when I'm looking to see an American black girl portraying Rita Marley, and then I'm hearing now, I've not seen all of it. I'm hearing now that Carly Davis' daughter is Marcia Griffiths with my master. So I've not really, it will be hard for me to comment too much on it, not seeing all of it, just synopsis of it. But I don't feel 100% comfortable with it. I don't know what it will do out there, what will happen, but I personally don't feel comfortable about it. I have to see it first and then maybe give my views. I have to see the impact it has on the world, the impact it will have out there in terms of who Bob Marley.
All right, people, and this movie came out like this interview was like a year before the Bob Marley movie came out, and the Bob Marley movie came out and did like a enormous job at the box office, right? But many people wasn't happy. Again, she was saying it before, right? She wasn't really happy about what she was hearing, and when it came out, people wasn't really happy about it. But again, that's uh and all of these people she's talking about, these are all Jamaican artists. So so she's well into the Jamaica. Well, obviously she's deep into the Rasta culture with the 12 tribes and all of this. I'm telling people it's informative about history, our story, and how deep it is because there's so much people she mentioned in just this interview. As we proceed, people, Bob Marley get mentioned too.
Impact it has on the world, the impact it will have out there in terms of who Bob Marley was, his lifestyle, and his life story and everything. I don't know yet. That's something I'm still thinking about.
Explain to the audience what it was like being around a superstar like Bob Marley. You said that he was just normal around. However, you had a chance to see him different than the rest of the world as a member of 12 Tribe, watching his children. So obviously, you had close association. For those who maybe don't know about the human being, Robert Nesta Marley, what was he like in your experience?
All right. I don't know, you may not know, but I can say that in his earlier years, just starting up Rastafari and going into the music industry, he was not accepted. He had a problem. So he realized that and he went abroad to Europe. So during
People, you see, me keep on saying this not accept. You see, left, right, and center, it always come down, not accepted. Not why, like, me not understand why can't we just be different and still, like, why is it racism comes so strong within our culture and that's something where we fight against so much. Not accepted means them not like him. Them things here, it's not. These people are just saying these things to make it sound like nice, but them things, these are some cool behaviors towards each other, and we still do it today. Wow, the man have to leave Jamaica, He go somewhere else, go making music, and which part him go. People, same thing with our brother. Imagine that. So Bob Marley for life. So you can't say for Bob Marley for our brother.
So during all that time, we didn't see him. But he came back to Jamaica. He knew about the 12 tribe of Israel. His brethren, Alan Skillcole, all of these brethren are in 12 tribe of Israel. So he decided, yes, I'm going to come and visit this place. But we wanted him to do shows. We couldn't get him because he was in Europe. Till one time he decided, yes, he's going to give us a show. And was as close as we got him at that time. It was down at Michael. And it was a 12 tribe show with Bob Marley. And it was such a sweet feeling. It's like we're all over him because by this time now his name was getting big abroad.
Yes,
so
man.
know he's in the 12 tribe of Israel. Yes.
Of course. Me telling the people, me love them story, for real, me love them story. People, ladies are speaking. We must listen. All right. I when he get big now, same thing. Everybody are gravitate to him all over him. Yes, yes. Continue, lady.
We didn't have a lot of because he traveled a lot. So we didn't see him a lot. We saw Dennis more than him. Dennis would be at every function 12 Tribes had and all the other artists, but he was always traveling. So we didn't have that real connection. We didn't have it as much, but we knew he was a 12 Tribe member. We knew what he was doing. And anytime we get even a chance to glance at him or to see him, it was a pleasure. But we didn't have that, like with Dennis.
What are some of the challenges you see here with Rastafari in Jamaica with the community? You're very vocal on social media platforms. What are some of your major concerns right now with the movement and its direction?
A lot of the Rastafari principles have been watered down. And I think it's watered down to please people out there. Because for me.
Okay, and at that, me say, that's one of the things me said, because Rastafari, the true culture of Rastafari, when how I saw it as a kid, that's not how I see it. No, I'm gonna talk about that already, right? Again, she's the person who is in it, so she knows best. But from a person from outside seeing it and knowing what it was before, that's my say. When we reflect on the past, we understand what how the past was great, and that we can gravitate to. Speak, lady, speak.
Because for me, I have a major issue with the artists them having these half naked girls in their videos. I have a major problem with that. I see we have nice sisters who could have done a video and it still come up, but they don't see that because they are now so caught up in the outside world and what the outside world wants. They'll tell you too that they're doing it because they want to be accepted. And I believe by watering it down, it's losing the essence of what Rastafari really stands for. That you see people just doing things, eating things, talking things, to see a man with dreadlocks with a cup in his hand all the time and he's rubbing it, walking like him going fall down. I can't wait to leave here. It may be happening in other places, but it hurts to know that this is what Rastafari in Jamaica, who the whole world were looking to say this is the example of what Rastafari is. It's not like that anymore.
Okay, and that's culture. That is, this is not every part of culture. She's speaking from the Rasta part, but this is our culture has become disrespectful, as no regards to each other. So when you see all the circles, the first part of the video of the live is when the matter how unity was. Our business people, we had businesses, we had support of each other. When she talk about the water down now, and you see it, this is the past, present, and the future we're talking about. So when we are analyzing these things, when we put them videos here together, right? These are the meaning we are supposed to be looking at. How what we were fighting for then and what we're fighting for now. Speak, lady, speak.
Of what Rastafari is. It's not like that anymore. Take my word for it. It's not like that anymore. They are going into too much of the outside world. That even outside world, people is even looking better than them. I don't like it.
12th tribe of Israel is known for its repatriation agenda. The Prophet Gad, sent many members. Functions were done raising money for repatriation. How important is repatriation to the eye and to the movement moving forward?
It's very, very important to me. It was and still is. I was one of those sisters that was called up to go. If you look in one of my passport, it was stamped to go Ethiopia. And I resigned my job, sold out all my furniture, ready to repatriate. And they had problems on the land. And brother, I was in my early 20s, and brother, I didn't think at that time it was wise for us to go again. Well, luckily for me, I soon get back to the repatriation. Luckily for me, I resigned on vacation and I got back my job. However, we never stopped preaching repatriation. Quite a few members are there, and I'm telling you, even if some or most don't want to live there anymore, you have some like myself that no matter what, we are going to repatriate. We are going to live in Ethiopia because the calling is there. It's just that some of them not seeing it. I see it, I feel it, and I'm telling you, I can rest assured if I go to Ethiopia, I will not suffer. I have friends.
Okay, and trust me, I thought about that too, forgot Ethiopia. But again, you can't just, I don't think you can just get up and go. You have to have a plan before even, people, like-minded people again. Because if you say you're going to get up and go somewhere, it's going to take you a while to establish yourself there. And most of the time when you repatriate, you have to repatriate, which means going back home to Africa. Well, you can repatriate the people in there. Would I love for repatriate got Jamaica, but that's a different story, people, as we continue.
I go to Ethiopia, I will not suffer. I have friends there that is so upset I'm not there as yet. They say, look here, you can stay in a room here till they build your room. You can whatever, but we want you there. Especially now in the music industry, people like Simeon, that singer, and all of them see that I'm in the industry now. It's booming there now. And I can't wait for me to come. I can't wait to go. Yes, I can't wait to go.
Explain your feelings traveling to Africa. What was it like? What were the circumstances that took you to Africa? What was your African experience?
And the two experiences were, I would say, almost by default. Why? I was working with Judy Mott at the time for the Zimbabwe experience. It was supposed to be Bunny Wailer, Andrew Tosh, and Kimani Marley. Those were the three that were and the I3 to go to Ethiopia. Rita wasn't feeling well at the time, so Pam Hall would have sat in for her. And of course, Kimani would represent Bob, and Andrew would represent his father, right? And then Bunny is already there. One day before the flight was to go off, Bunny said, I'm not going. Bunny Wheeler. No, remember, him going, him have him own entourage and the whosoever coming. Telling us at that time, it was like night for Africa, day for us. So we got the news when I was in Sister Judith's office, and she said, Marcy, she called me Marcy, we have a problem. I said, what? Bunny not going again. And the tickets are bought. What we're going to do? She said, anyway, I'll work out something. Go home, I'll get in touch with you. You know, they in touch to get with me? Pack a bag and come. I said, what? They said, pack a bag, you're coming with us. She said, you're going to be the administrator for this trip. You're going to ensure everybody. You know what? I had to get up 7 o'clock in the morning, gather everybody one place. She got a bus, went down to that place where you get the injection. And then we had to go to the airlines and change up all the names. Because by this time, we had to come with a show. But by this time, the people in Africa said they want back their money if Bunny don't come. By the time we got there, it was like the man nearly go crazy, the producer, because he had to give back everybody their money. And so they said, so by this time, it would be Freddie that would come in place. I remember Limey was there at the time. Freddie's not anything to them like Bob, Marley, and the Wailers. So always to pull this thing off now. All right, we got there. We told them what was happening. We said, okay, let us see if they will accept it. They didn't. And so all of that was lost. The producer it went downhill for him. However, Freddie being there, he tried to make an impact as Freddie McGregor. Sister Judy them sing some of Bob's songs. We were there, but to tell you the truth, it was dampened. So that was by default. I got there because of that. The next trip to South Africa is Fred Locks was supposed to go, but he broke his wrist in how much places. It's like our cousin married to a South African. He's a male married to a female, and they wanted to do a wedding where he could have family members because his direct family from England didn't want to come to South Africa. Fred couldn't come, and so the wife from South Africa who met me in Jamaica a couple months before said to her husband, "Let his sister come," and I stayed there for 2.5 months. So I would say the two of them was by default, but I would say it's by the Almighty.
How did you feel being in Africa?
Awesome, especially when I went to South Africa. I didn't want to come back. If I didn't have loose ends there, I wouldn't come back. I would never come back. I felt very at home there. I love the Rastafari community there. I think they are so, to me, they are so, they're just so serious about what they are doing. They talk a lot about water. They worship Bongo Water because he went there and is him established the old Liar Bingy there. My cousin that I stayed with, he was like a right hand to water. When you go in the house, you see this big painting of water. It's like I was like a blessing to them and they were a blessing to me. Some of the younger ones were just coming into music. So when I went there with my music ability, we put on a little show and they loved it. Yes, and they wanted me to come back. I was treated like a queen. I went to some of the biggest places because my in-law, she's like, out here you have people who work with government. And so whenever she go anywhere, sometimes I tag along with her. It was a great experience, wonderful. I didn't want to come back.
All right, so we spoke about the direction. Let's talk about the future of the movement. Where do you see
people, present, past, future? The conversation just flow, people. Boy, I'm telling you, the conversation just a flow. As we continue in the future, people, in the future.
A movement going, and what contribution to the wider Pan-African movement do you think Rastafari can make?
I believe with us that is still holding on to what it stands for will make a difference eventually. I think with the younger generation, the more it's coming. Because even with the old Afrobeat and everything, it's coming. All we have to do is just try keep that that just nurture it as much as we can, and still interject. Because remember, there's a Black Oil movement. Most of the Rastafarians then came into play. So if we can keep that Africa thing along with the Rastafari with the teachings, I said today when I did that interview earlier, I said, I don't feel like I want to even talk about Rastafari anymore. I don't want to try to tell anybody what it is. And they're supposed to know. The person say, yeah, Aisha, what are you talking about? You, you are out there and you are going to go out there and you're going to bring back this thing. Because what you stand for is what Rastafari is. So I guess in my own little way, whether through music or whatever, I just have to say I see hopes. And I will be there. I'll be there.
I want to just thank the I for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your understanding. As we wrap up the conversation, what words of wisdom for the young sisters? You have lived some life now. Uh, you spoke a little bit critically about the dressing, but what positive reinforcement could you provide for younger sisters who are seeking Rastafari and they want to, they want to do the right thing? And what advice would you have for these young sisters, seeing that you yourself were young when you came into the faith?
Just ask.
Okay, all right. You see, it's she was critical before. Now she'll give her positive, right? And I that me like people. You can't just be a critic and a condemn. You must find a solution to help them out. Same thing when me I do right now. People them tell me some need to do this, me need to do that, me listen. Right? As we proceed, people.
Yeah. Um, don't feel like they are left out because they are not in the world out there doing certain things. The, just the education is important, and I find that a lot of these young, whether they are Rastafarians or not, are taken into education. But they stay on that path because with education you learn and just love themselves, the confidence of who they are, accept themselves. Just know that how can you go wrong in something that you bring out so much good people. Myself, Bob Ma, how can it be wrong? Because out there it's just a follow fashion. This is not so. This is a spiritual thing that will take you spiritual to high places. And they can always come to me. I'm free to explain a lot of things to them, but I just want them to hold on to the fact that they must love themselves and accept themselves. They don't have to change to suit anybody. And to know who them irators, them creators, because without a higher force, how are we going to go through that higher force is so important. And I would emphasize on I listen last time Empress Menen as much as I can, and to even get them, ask them to get the books, the autobiography of Empress Menen, and read that. And the, I like my Bible, the Schofield Bible and the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Yes, get them and try to work with the two and the Marcus Garvey, and Leonard P. Howell. Get the promised keys. Anything that you know that will keep you in a strength, and you don't have to look outside because those are the things that help me and make me who I am now. Those are the things that make me who I am now, and that's what I would preach. Just love self and accept self, and make spirituality be important. I'd like to say thank you very much for this platform. Not only to just talk about me, but to know the passion and the love that I have for Rastafari, and to know that it's not going anywhere other than better if only people like me just keep pushing the fire and just keep standing strong and talking, whatever we need to talk. Just make sure the blueprint is out there. That Rastafari is a tradition. It has a lot going for it. And listening earlier to Aya Gift, where he's coming from with the drumming and those things, and he left from one, like wherever to come where he is, so just like myself here, and to just know that he's of that age, I'm of this age, look at the age difference, and we're like basically having the same feeling. So young people, don't be dismayed. Don't be dismayed. Just know that and I give thanks again. Thank you, Lions
Voice.
Voice Association in association with.
I never knew TV.
I never knew TV. I'll get it. But I give thanks.
Yes, I know that the eye is not alone. We are here to help the eye hold up the standard.
Yes.
It's a great honor. I've known the eye for a long time. Every Jamaica Music Conference, the eye has been there,
Yes.
giving us strength. And I want to just, say I want to commend the eye while I'm here in front of the eye and what you have done for the youths, for the music. You help people daily. Just part of your DNA, and it's a great honor. And I want to say I give thanks that the time has come for the lioness to tell her own story. And this is the lion's voice.
All right, people. That was an amazing. On both sides, our past, present, and future. The passion where this lady have, right? Or that may I say the passion what we used to have is like those ladies in the past having a standard. Yes, we used to have them things there. Them things that is really important to understanding, love, unity. My goodness. People may have some more ladies line up for my next life. Because me tell you say them people them have so much to offer. All we have to do is even one ears. Even if you use one ears to listen, it makes sense. Much less two ears, so we can understand. I really, really, really love the fact that them people have the ability to articulate themselves, keep them emotion in check, teach, educate, inform. Boy, I'm gonna tell you say it doesn't end, people. It doesn't end. This is why I love it so much. Thank you for stop by, people. Thank you for spending the time with me. And I know some time I come on my live of them things that me I gotta deal with. These things are so amazing. Them people are so amazing. Them stories so refreshing. Right? Of course I mix up, but a good mix up. Positive mix up. Enjoyable mix up. People may say me have some more great ladies for drop later on. And trust me, them as interesting as these ones. As I'm tell you say, for the whole month, it's the people them where me highlight. Oh my goodness, it's them is just amazing, right, people? So I'm thank you, manners respect, Thank you for the thumbs up, thank you for the like, thank you for the oh yeah, and the subscription them a grow. Thank you, people. In a bit,